What's up, guys? Ricky here. Do you love Most Valuable Podcasts? And are you like myself where things that you like, you just have to let people know because they've got to be on your t-shirt at all times? If you do, you're in luck because we got Most Valuable Podcast t-shirts. You've probably seen myself, Dave, Mark, Sean, Brandon. You might have seen us wearing these t-shirts in videos. The good thing is now you can get your hands on one too. How do you do so? First off, send us an email, mostvaluablepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your name, your size, your address. We will then send you an invoice through Square. That's how you'll pay for it, $22 per shirt. And then after we get the money, we will send you a great Most Valuable Podcast t-shirt for you to wear so you can tell everybody that you love listening to Most Valuable Podcast. So go check it out. The directions are also in the description. What are you waiting for? We got the shirts just for you.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Ricky Ticky Tabby, bitches!
And we are back for another edition of the Rick and Johnny podcast right here on Most Valuable Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie news, entertainment news, TV, comics. We're kind of hitting the nerdy world, as well as video gaming, sprinkling of video gaming here. And then want to welcome you guys in. Got a jam-packed show. Going to be looking at Star Wars today. Leia, maybe the first padawan of Luke, or should have been. Going to look at Jumanji. You and I didn't get to see the new movie. However, I have an idea. Well, it was an idea. I'll get to it. Of a future movie for Jumanji. And then we're going to look Game of Thrones and kind of make our predictions early on for what we could see in Season 8 for our predictions. But before we get into everything, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys at home. Number one, I'm wearing it. You guys see it. The MVP t-shirt. How do you get one of these? Down below in the description, $22. You can get your own MVP t-shirt and get some MVP gear. Number two, if you're on YouTube or you're on iTunes, you have an iTunes, go on to iTunes and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating on iTunes. Then go ahead and do it for the rest of MVP's podcast, if you please. Onside Kick, Primetime Podcast, and The Fast Break. It would mean the world to us. And then last but not least, check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. This is how we get to do what we do for you guys. We got some nice tiers, Patreon podcasts for you guys. You can be a guest on podcasts. We've got certain rewards. That link down below in the description. However, Johnny, we're going to move into our first topic, and we're looking Star Wars. I know we did our review, and they can check the review out on our channel. I snuck it there. I snuck it right above you for the review of The Last Jedi. But there was an article on Screen Rant where apparently I think it was Rian Johnson, who was the director, said that originally Luke wanted Leia to be his first Padawan. However, she said no because she felt like she was more needed with the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Republic.
There you go.
And then leading the rebellion like we see in the movies. I want to ask you, though, should Leia have been Luke's first Padawan?
Actually, all in all, no, because I do think it was correct with her being... Her place is fighting in the military, leading people, doing that part of it. But I do think, in some sense, maybe Luke at least taught her some stuff, because the stuff we saw, and spoilers if you haven't seen it yet for some reason.
Yeah, spoilers for Last Jedi if you have not seen it.
Well, if you for some reason didn't go see that yet.
Yeah.
I think he did at least teach her some things. Cause, I mean, yeah, she's older, so maybe she taught herself the stuff. I don't know. Because it looks to me she's not really like Jedi style Force user. She's like
just a
casual
light,
Force user.
Yeah, light Force user.
And the stuff she did, like especially the one thing where she pulled herself all the way back to that door. I know.
The Supermaning.
Exactly. That's something I would feel like that you have to be a heavy Force user to use. So I feel like Luke may have taught her that.
Would he have taught her that, or? Because you got to think, by the time we're saying, should she have been the first Padawan? Well, if it's, hey, I mean, you should have been my first Padawan. Think about how long ago. That would be the end of Return of the Jedi.
That's true.
Where how many years passed between Jedi and Force Awakens? Enough time for her and Solo to get married, enough time to have Kylo Ren, and have Kylo Ren turn against Luke in the Jedi Academy that he had. This is, like, part of me would have loved to see Leia be a Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of, like, this is the Skywalker family. Like, we are Jedi. We are, like, Anakin, Jedi. He went over to the dark side. You have Kylo goes over to the dark side. The one thing that is very interesting, and this is where I get into not necessarily Star Wars, but just families and genes in general. First off, the first thought I have is the way they had it play out is very much like a brother and sister usually. Brother goes into one thing or sister goes into one thing. I want my sibling to come with me. Most times it's no, I don't want to do that because I want to be my own person.
Exactly.
And Leia, I don't think she would want to follow in Luke's footsteps.
Yeah, well, you don't want...
and be cast in that shadow.
You don't want... No sibling wants to be... For example, I'm just going to use them. Oh, you're Luke's sister. No, you want to be known as Leia.
Yeah, you want to make a name for yourself.
Exactly. It was funny, like that same thing... Example happened to my sister when she joined band after me.
She was
you're Johnny's sister. No. You want to be your own person.
Here's the other thing, and this is kind of the more important, maybe the more important one. But we don't get to see this with Luke because, like, being a Jedi, no wife, no kids. Like Dave put it yesterday as we were recording the fast break. You got to think of like this Jedi Sith thing. They're like religions in the Star Wars universe. And with Leia being able to have a kid, that's first off one thing that might have gone into it where, hey, if I am Luke's Padawan, I'm a Jedi, it's like becoming a priest in the Catholic order. Like I can't have Han as my husband. I can't do and have kids. That could have played into it as well. But
that's very true.
The thing that, and this brings me a little bit away from the main topic, but it's Luke and Leia specific, is how genes work in general.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a like dark side gene. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about it this way. Anakin went over to the dark side. True. He's kind of like Anakin's the top because we know he has a mother, but we don't really know much about the mom besides her being a simpleton. We don't know much about Anakin's father either.
We know nothing about his father.
Yeah, Anakin's father might have been a Force user.
Maybe. We don't know that, though.
But that's another thing that goes into the whole Force thing of do you have to be a Jedi to use the Force, or kind of getting away from that a little bit. But like Anakin passes the gene down to Luke and Leia.
Yep.
The thing that's interesting is how does that gene work? Because, like, we don't get to see it with Luke, because I said no kids. But, like, with Leia, it's interesting that, hey, I have right now one kid, could have two, Rey could still be her daughter, but I have one kid who is a Jedi, has gone over to the dark side. Like, is that just one thing where it's like, hey, you know what, we have a recessive gene that one of you guys is going to be weak-minded and be...
To the Force, yeah.
And
or to the...
weak-minded in, like... the Force in willpower to where the dark side could
take over,
corrode you and pull you into it.
You know what? It is possible. It is
very
like
philosophical now.
It could be a recessive gene thing where it's like it kind of. But now let's think of too about Anakin. He was late for. He was a Jedi for a while, and then he moved over to the dark side. At the very end of the Star Wars, like his part of Star Wars, he moved back to the light side.
Yeah.
So it's more like a conflicted thing. And I mean, that comes into an idea of
philosophical.
Yeah, philosophical ideal. Thank you. I was trying to get philosophy out. Yeah. Of like all coming down to nature or nurture in a sense of any human. When it comes to the Jedi, Jedi and Sith are both separate religions. Basically, the concept of that, like you said earlier. But for the other part of that, the nature versus nurture, sometimes it seems like it might be part of someone's nature to have less willpower, have less to fight, or be more egocentric egocentric, I think is what I'm thinking of when you're more self-centered.
Yeah.
More thinking about yourself.
Well, and that's
which is
which
is the dark side type stuff.
What I was thinking of is not necessarily dark side way, but when you say the egocentric thing is most of the Skywalkers in some way. Yeah. Vader, Luke, Leia, they all have one trait that is kind of the same in all of them. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to say stand up for what they believe in. Yeah. But they're forces to where they don't back down easily. They're kind of hard-headed.
Stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn hard-headedness a little bit. Whereas, like, Luke, you see it in A New Hope. You see it early on where it's like, well, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? You see it with Anakin a little bit. Yeah, Anakin goes over the dark side. You see it with Leia a little bit. All of them all share this one kind of trait of being kind of stubborn and hard-headed. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying though, the egocentric thing kind of centers around it. Like, if you,
I think Han doesn't Han make fun of that in the original trilogy?
He may. I don't remember.
Doesn't he say that to like Leia? I think he says that to like Leia or something.
Yeah, he may. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a while. Shame on me.
We got a trilogy every 3 years, or else the dark side wins.
That's true. But where was I going with that?
The stubbornness.
The egocentricness is actually where I was going with it. Okay. Yeah, you can be stubborn and be a Jedi, because look at most of the Jedi Order. They're stubborn as hell.
Look at Luke. Luke never went over the dark side. Yeah.
He's a stubborn little shit.
Stubborn old man.
Exactly. Qui-Gon was stubborn as hell. Obi-Wan was stubborn. Not to the extent the rest of them are. He actually seemed a little bit more lackadaisical because on that front. Because he was trying his damnedest with Anakin, even after he turned.
I have the high ground, Anakin. It's useless. I have the high ground.
Not even that. Like, just like, you don't have to do this, Anakin. Like, you can turn it around. No, Anakin didn't want to.
You killed her. You took her from me.
No, you did that. When you killed all those younglings.
Oh, the prequels. When will they go away?
Never, Ricky.
But no, part of me's happy we didn't get to see Leia be Luke's first Padawan.
No, I'm totally on board with that, because that to me comes down to an idea. You don't want to see that because I like her in her role as a general, from resistance leader to general of resistance.
What then happens to Han? True. Does Han kind of be like, well,
falls by the wayside.
I got nothing here keeping me around. Chewie, looks like we're hitting the road. And then,
Chewie, punch it.
Yeah, off into the Millennium Falcon. Wow. I said
Millennial Falcon. I want a meme of that. Someone find it.
I don't want a Millennial Falcon meme.
I want someone posted down below a Millennial Falcon meme.
I don't know why I said Millennial Falcon.
Ricky, you heard it here from Ricky. It's now a hashtag on his Twitter too.
Do you have any other thoughts about Luke, Leia, and the whole Padawan thing?
I'm actually interested now more so in how that exactly works, because it doesn't seem 100% like a gene thing like we talked about earlier. In some ways it is.
The gene thing that I was looking more into is that maybe it was more of the stubbornness thing. Yeah. And then it's a probability of, okay, who's going to follow the dark side?
Yeah, but it's also, again, like I said, they're all stubborn. The point I was getting to with that one. But the ones who are Jedi, or the ones who go to the dark side, tell me don't have kind of an egocentric persona to them.
Let me throw this out. Would you say all the Skywalker characters have some sort of a rage issue? Or a temper to them?
I would go with a temper of some sort.
Because here's the thing.
I would agree with that.
All of them have a temper. Luke and Leia able to control their temper. Anakin and Kylo,
not
unable.
So much.
Like, we've seen emo Kylo Ren smash his helmet
right into that wall,
like just bashing everything with.
Where
his
they
lightsaber.
Finally made the joke is the two of them in the first of this trilogy walk down the hallway, see something fly out of the room, turn right back around. Yep. It's like finally someone made that
Darth
joke.
Vader has done the same. Like, Anakin's been the same way, killing the Padawans. End of Rogue One. Best Darth Vader scene I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
But that is just rage-filled Darth Vader. I'm going to kill anybody.
Force choking people who piss you off. Yeah, it's kind of rage-filled.
And like you've seen it, like I feel like the temper you've seen a little bit more with Leia in the original trilogy more than Luke.
Yes.
But they're both still there. They both have a temper to them.
They do. Well, look at how most of her interactions with Han go. She is hot-headed with him.
Luke's temper only, like to me, it came out mostly when he was dealing with Yoda.
Yeah.
When he's dealing with another stubborn person. That's when the temper of Luke kind of
started coming out.
But I think Yoda was trying to do that.
I think he was. He was trying to get him to kind of not use his rage, but like to
understand it's there and don't have it bring you to a fall to the dark side.
Bring it as a you know what? No, you need to realize it's there, but you need to realize it's to control it too.
Let the hate flow through you.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Just don't let it consume you.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly like it brings back to that side of the Sith of that is maybe why Kylo and Darth Vader were able to fall over because some Sith Lord or Snoke, because he's technically not a Sith, but I don't know, you didn't give me enough of them to know what he was.
Exactly.
They have fallen over because of their rage and their anger. Like Luke, Last Jedi, we saw, I mean, he didn't do anything, he didn't flinch, but the lightsaber went out, lightsaber went down. That could have been a little bit into the temper category of like, I see all this. I must kill him. Yeah. And then it fleets.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, the temper's there. The whole Skywalker family is probably based on some... They have temper problems, all of them. And maybe it is a genetic thing in some aspects of it. Because it's hard to say it's nurture because they all were raised in somewhat separate environments. Luke was raised... Or Anakin's raised by his mom until, 10 years old?
Yeah.
And then brought into the Jedi on the desert planet. But Luke, raised by his aunt and uncle on a desert planet... Still has a temper, but didn't fall to the dark side. Leia, raised by...
Wasn't she a princess?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. She was raised on...
Alderaan.
Thank you, Alderaan. I don't know. I forgot the planet's name.
I'm looking for love in all the wrong places.
Ha 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 ha.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite Alderaan joke. I was just waiting
Save that for the February podcast.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Anyways, she was raised in a separate environment, still anger issues, but again, no dark side.
But that's also why I'm not against I'm still on the Kylo Rey brother-sister train.
Same.
Because there are similarities between Luke and Leia and Kylo in that. Like, you see Luke and Rey both on desert planets. You see Kylo and Princess Leia. Although Leia wasn't a Sith, they both have life pretty much well off.
Yes,
they don't have to worry about anything.
Their parents are there for them until
except one of them wants to kill his parents and killed one of them.
Yep. Well, that and I mean, eventually it kind of was an Anakin thing if you think about it, because he was raised by his parents for a while and then brought over to Jedi Academy. So there's some correlation there too.
There's correlation between all of them. Any final thoughts you got on this before we move on?
No, it's an interesting debate on nature, nurture, what makes you a Jedi, what makes you a Sith, and
didn't think we'd get into genealogy here on the podcast.
Star Wars,
Star Wars
genealogy.
Star Wars isn't that's the thing I like about Star Wars is if you want to get engulfed in the lore and the canon.
Yeah.
And stuff I watched a video because I wasn't hip and cool to it, but lightsaber colors.
Yes.
Because I know the one that really was inside the Star Wars stuff was Mark. Mark described me a little bit about lightsaber stuff, but I watched a video about it just to see, because to figure out what lightsaber you would be. I guess
I took that
blue,
quiz.
Blue is mostly for Jedi.
Yeah.
You have obviously red for
Sith.
The way that the video I watched described it, and this could be wrong, is that the Sith would take a lightsaber and it'd be blue, but they would drain it to make it. They'd make it bleed, and then that's how it came that red color. They made the kyber crystal bleed.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was not genetically, but it was an altered kyber crystal in a sense. It was not necessarily the right crystal for a lightsaber.
Which is interesting because this video, and I could be wrong, so don't take me as canon on this, but it said also that Mace Windu, why his is purple, is he wanted both the red and the green to be kind of in the middle of both of those.
Red and blue?
No, blue and green, I think it is. Or is it red and blue? It's blue and something. Whatever
Well, if
makes
it's red,
purple.
Red and blue make purple.
Red and blue make purple?
Yes,
Then that's what
yes.
it is. It was the cross between those two, and that's how you get purple. To where you're kind of like in the middle of it. But
I know there's a quiz out there that can tell you what lightsaber
I don't
you
trust
use.
those freaking
Well, I got
Facebook
orange, and
quizzes.
it sounded actually legit for me. But
Orange, from what the video I watched, said, oh, what was orange? Orange was like kind of neutral.
Yeah.
White was like Ahsoka, which is like almost totally neutral. Yellow was like if you're like a guard or something, that color is like passed along.
yeah.
To where like you're a protector, you're serving a post as like a guard or something.
I think orange was used by mostly gray Jedi.
But yeah, Jedi lightsaber colors. We could talk about that in the future. But let us know what you guys think. I'm going to turn it on to you guys before we rant on and on and on about this. Let us know what you guys think down below about the Luke Leia thing we talked about. Would you have liked to see Leia be Luke's first Padawan? Let us know what you guys think down below.
Maybe some millennial Falcon memes for Ricky now.
in the comment section. Johnny, let's move on into our next topic. And we're looking at Jumanji. And I know that I'm going to say this right off the bat because I know we're going to get comments for it. Neither you nor I were able to go see the new Jumanji movie, Welcome to the Jungle. However, I feel like this topic we can do without seeing the second one. So I just want to say that right up front so we don't have comments where it's like, you ain't got to watch the second one. No, we will. We just haven't had the time yet. But So this is from an interview with Kevin Hart, The Rock, Jack Black, and really we're taking what Jack Black said. And what he said, and I quote, "If you don't mind me jumping in, I think it would be cool to see the mind behind the game. It'd be cool to like explore because there's gotta be some alien technology." And then The Rock jumped in and said, like Oz. And Jack Black goes, exactly. Who's behind the curtain on this game? So what I wanted to bring up, Johnny, for Jumanji and just our second topic here is basically, should there be a Jumanji prequel? Meaning, I don't think I have to, but I will. Meaning, in Jumanji 3, do we go back before Jumanji 1? Do we go back to, okay, how did this all start? How did the curse get to the board game? How did it then get to the video game? How did it all start? Should there be a movie like that?
Should there? We don't necessarily need it, but I would think it would be fantastic to see. I think it'd be very fun to see. I think Jack Black, and in that interview, they mentioned something about aliens.
Yeah, he said like alien technology.
I would go a separate route than that. I would say ancient curse.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. An ancient priest, African priest curse on something. And just like, you know what? You guys want to play a game about Africa? Oh, you're going to get Africa.
Okay.
The dangers of Africa. And I think it'd be great to see like...
Because like in the original Jumanji, they find the game, and the game's been around. It's not like this was like... Because at the very beginning...
in the very, very beginning, it's like the 1800s.
Yeah, and they show
like,
it getting buried.
Buried it, yeah.
What if that was the first people to play the game?
I'd say
they were the first one. Like, in this prequel, would you want it to be two sides now?
Okay.
Would you want it to be, all right, here are the people that played it before Robin Williams, before Alan Parrish?
Yeah.
Or would you want it to be, how did this game get cursed? Because you think about it, like how the board game looked in the original movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a modernized board game. It was like made out of one piece of wood that folded back.
Ivory.
The pieces were ivory pieces, to where it was like, all right, this looks like it was handcrafted many moons ago.
Yeah, I'd say go with like maybe like a combination movie of, hey, this is how it got cursed, but this is also how like the first people to play. So kind of a combination of the two.
Well, it all comes back to how long ago. Like, when was the game made? Was it made before the 1800s?
I would say
so. Or
so.
was it made around that time, and it was, like you were saying, oh, you want a game about Africa? Here's a game about Africa. you get what you ask for kind of a thing.
I could say, actually, that would be cool. Like, maybe not those kids that buried it were the first ones to play it, but somewhere in that, like, between the 16 and 1800s was when it first happened. Because it looks like it was made in that era. Somewhere in that time range. It looks like that it would have been made then. Because ivory was a popular thing to be poaching for. Obviously, any games would be made out of wooden boards, et cetera, et cetera. And they have that, I think it's an emerald or a piece of jade right in the middle. Because it's got a green hue, obviously.
Yeah.
To have that, or maybe the piece of jade in the middle is the thing that's cursed.
I'm trying to do some research right now. Like, I'm thinking of different ideas that could, like, involve the story. And the first one that I thought of was basically, like, the first thing that popped into my head, Salem witch trials, because I think it'd be cool if, let's say the game was like, the curse originated from there, and it was like maybe kids in that era that, like, one of the witches who nobody knew she was a witch, but she's a witch. And it's like, oh, you want a fun, like, we need a fun board game to play. I'm going to give you a fun board game to play. And then she kind of puts a little curse on the game. Like, this is very elementary in my head right now.
I'm gonna make a slight alteration on yours. I like the era where you went in during the witch trials. Fits perfectly. Have that game come from, like, no, let's have, like, someone's putting together the game of some sort. One, and then it could play into the witch trial thing because all these magical things happening. And I still think the one thing that, at least the one main thing that should be cursed is that piece of jade right in the middle, or emerald, or whatever it is. I'm not. Yeah. I know it's whatever the green stone it is.
Yeah, the circle thing where everything, the text comes
If it gets to the piece gets to the middle.
Yeah.
That's what's cursed.
Okay.
And then it plays into that era great because, like, monkeys start showing up, stampedes, plants no one recognizes. And then you could have, like, how it's affecting this 1600s village. How it's, like, people are thinking, oh, there's a witch, and it starts the witch hunt too. But it's just these 4 kids playing a board game.
I'm thinking something here.
I like that one.
I'm thinking. And this next one, I'm going to throw it out there. Then you tell me what you think. This might be going a little bit too far, because the only thing that I think would be missing from that Salem witch trials thing is what connects it to Africa. Because the Salem, like, if it was a witch from a European, like, crossover, listen to this. You tell me what you think. I don't know if this is in poor taste, but I'm just going to throw it out there. What if, because I'm looking, like, the thing I was trying to pin down was the time period of slavery in America.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
What if that's how the African part comes into it, where it has to do with something with, like,
a begrudged slave?
Because during the Salem witch trials, that happened during what? The date that I'm looking at is like 1693. Yeah. Slavery was still going on.
It started
during that time. I have 1501 to 1890 or 1865.
So honestly, to quote the first thing that pops up on Google, the transatlantic slave trade began in the 15th century after the Portuguese started exploring.
So the 15th century, would that be 1600s? Okay.
In about 1650, however, with the development of plantations on the new Caribbean islands, et cetera, that's when they started to grow. But it started in the 1600s.
So this is like 93 years, 50 years, depending on where you want to go off of, mid-60s or 1600.
Yeah.
So it would be early on in the... Ooh, that would be interesting. What if it's one of the slaves that...
transplanted to there.
Yes, and it comes over with them, and maybe it's like a weird twist where it's not a witch.
He was a witch doctor over there.
No.
Medicine man-ish type thing.
Exactly. What if it... And then it plays off of another thing of, like, maybe at the time where it's like... They were pointing fingers. Because I'm thinking of, like, the book The Crucible.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're pointing fingers at each other. What if we didn't even think about that some of the slaves we brought over could be, we would see them as witches, but like you said, witch doctor.
Over there, he was like, over there, he'd be considered like medicine man or witch doctor. or whatever magical thing they would consider him over there. But over here, he's just considered a slave. It's like, oh, you know what? It is his way of getting back at them. Yeah, you know what? You want this game? You got this game right here. Here's a little thing in the middle. Have fun.
Now, question for you.
Okay.
Because now that we came up from that idea, does it need to happen right at the beginning of the 1600s?
Doesn't have to be the beginning 1600s.
No, but like, does it have to happen during Salem witch trial time, or could we have it later on in the slavery timeline?
You can have it anywhere in that timeline, but I think it would work nicely with the aesthetic of that, even except for the fact that I don't know if anyone from that area had slaves, because it was just because of the religious thing going on.
That's why I would wait until, like, I would go to a time period, if we're going to go off of that, I would go to a time period where it was like most families
had them,
did that, so that way you can justify, like, okay, this is, so someone can't burn you on the fact of, like, well, they wouldn't have slaves at this time, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But like, that's the only thing I was thinking of, is how do you bridge the African thing and the African theme over to it, because it is an African based game.
Yes.
And I'm thinking board game, because that's like
themed.
Like,
it's themed game.
Like, yes, it's a video game now, but that curse moved from board game. What about this? And this is another thing I'm going to bring up, because they also talked about right here, spoilers for Jumanji, because I went ahead and spoiled it for myself because I didn't really care. But if you care about spoilers, I'll give you, how about you do this? Hit mute right now, and then I'll give you 2 thumbs up. Like this.
When we get past the spoiler.
Gotten past the spoiler. So right now, hit the mute button. All right, I think we can talk about it. I think we can. So here's the thing that I looked into. Like I told you about the post-credit scene where you just hear, they destroy the game and you hear the kind of alluding to the, hey, it could carry on.
Yeah.
What if, and I hope they got it. Do it again.
There you go.
Cool. Spoilers done. What if, like, it's a video game in the second one, it was a board game before. What if the first time in the prequel, it's not a board game? It's a different kind of game that would have been popular at that time.
Yeah.
Or, like, that's another question. Would you want to see that, or would you have rather seen, like, do you have to see creation of the board game?
I mean, it could already be the board game, because I feel like...
What if it's not a board game, but the kids that play it in the prequel, their experiences with the witch doctor and that game, that inspires them to make the game, and that's the beginning of it.
Well,
that's the beginning of, it's very elementary, and then eventually it's like someone took it on and then refurbished it and made
only
Jumanji.
Problem with that is A, you have to get the curse into the game then. B, most of the people that play Jumanji, it seems like in any of these scenarios, wants nothing to do with it, wants no one to get a hold of it.
True.
Which is why you bury it 6 feet under, 6 or more feet down.
True.
You throw it in the ocean tied to a rock, etc., etc.
Good point. Squashed.
Yeah, sorry,
Squashed.
not to burst that bubble, but
that's what we're going here with. We're throwing out ideas. We're trying to get something here. So it would have to be a board game.
I think so.
But would you want does that have to be the main part of it? Like, this is the board game, or do you just want to see the prequel of everything leading up, and like the end of the movie is them making the board game? Or do you think the board game and them playing it, the first people to ever play the board game?
I think it'd be I think I would go with first people to play the board game. The game is either made via the movie, or like you find at least a hint of why the thing's cursed in the movie. Like, we don't even have to get the complete assembly of the game. It's magic. It appeared. Because the only thing, let's put it this way too, the game apparently it adapts, and it, like I was gonna say, the one thing that throws
it's now a video game in the second one.
But here's what I was gonna say, the one thing that throws a wrench in our idea of having like 1700s, Van Pelt. He's the one thing that would throw a wrench in there because he's an 1800s character, except for the fact that the game adapts.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about, and I never realized this until I rewatched the movie as an adult.
Yeah.
The thing that Van Pelt symbolizes is Alan Parrish's father.
Yeah.
I believe it's the same actor.
Yeah, it is.
That plays the father, plays the
I'm pretty sure it is.
Pelt. What if it's something, does it have to be that, like you said, could it adapt and be something else?
That's what I think it is. It adapts.
Because I don't think Van Pelt or anything like him are in the new one.
Seeing as we haven't seen it, I couldn't say.
I mean, I haven't
also
seen him on the
is,
IMDb page.
Instead of,
I could be wrong.
The other part of that too, though, is like instead of having the game like we had the first time, where everything gets pulled out of the game and gets thrown at you, you're pulled into the game.
Yeah, that's what happens this
in
second
the new
go
one.
around.
Yeah, the second go round.
Do you think then in the prequel we'd need a different twist? Like, okay, the first time everything came to you, second time you came to everything else.
You have the IMDb page, right? Up.
Not open. I could.
Okay, because I was gonna say, what was the main point of the game to get, like in the new one? In
the Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah. For them to win, they had to go get what?
Oh, they had to overcome their weaknesses.
Okay.
Overcome their weaknesses. I got that from the Screen Rant article.
Okay.
4 teenagers discover an old video game console and are literally drawn into the game's jungle setting, becoming adult avatars they choose. That's what IMDb has.
Yeah.
But like the IMDb page, or not IMDb, the Screen Rants one has it as they have to overcome their weaknesses and come together as a team kind of a thing.
Okay, but what's does it give you the overall goal of what their objective was in the game?
I think it's some with a ruby.
What's in the middle of the board game?
A ruby?
Of nice
an emerald stone.
Yeah.
So you're saying this next one the third one has to deal with the stone in some way.
Yeah. Again, with the board maybe being cursed via that stone. I'm just trying to find a correlation between all of them.
Or, and this is the thing at the end I'll do to flip it. Or, if we do a next Jumanji 3, we've talked about going back, doing a prequel.
Yeah.
Do we jump forward? Do we do another jump forward where, like, it was a video game, now it's something else?
Yeah, that's the question, is where do you go with that? Because the only other the media we have out right now are one of two things. VR, which is still kind of video games.
Which is what they basically did, was VR.
Yeah, it was, you got thrown into the virtual world. Or there's the app games on phones.
I'm trying to think. What was... You know what? I saw something online, and I can't remember. The Disney Channel stars, they were brothers. It was a boy band. There were 3 of them. Jonas,
yeah.
That's who I was thinking. One of the Jonas brothers, I think, had an idea or had a he has a funny idea for the next Jumanji sequel. Here's what he said. I'm going to read it really quick if I can find it. First reaction to reading, don't want that. Closest thing, don't want that. I'm quickly looking through the interview. Jumanji Jungle, what would you see? Right here. What would you like to see from the next Jumanji adventure if there could be another sequel? Here's what he said, and I quote, I'm not sure. If there was a sequel, I just hope I'd be in it, laughs. I'm not sure, but I mean, I think there are so many places you could go with this, and even new characters you can introduce. I think that the brilliant thing about this story is that each one of these characters, the 4 main heroes, goes on an incredible journey and grows so much more over the course of the hour and a half that you're watching the film. And I think I'm down to see more of that. So from him, it kind of sounds like, hey, let's take these 4 characters again. The game follows them. Like, what if it's something like an It kind of thing where they're kids now, they destroy the game, the curse ain't happy. No one's ever tried to destroy me. Everyone's just hidden me, thrown me in water,
Thrown me
buried
away,
me,
gotten rid of me.
No one has destroyed me. What do? And then the curse is kind of following them in some way, to where it's like It Part 1, Part 2, where once they're high schoolers, flash forward the next one's when they're adults and how they deal with it as adults.
Maybe the other thought I had now is a sort of spin off the first Jumanji.
Okay.
Remember how Alan gets pulled into the game?
Yes.
What if it's the flip side of that? But like they don't just like it doesn't just close up the game and they stop for 20 years.
Yeah.
What if it like the kid gets pulled into the game, the rest of them keep playing out there, but you keep showing what happens to the other kid inside the game. So like, and you can even have some tie-ins. Like remember the monkeys got pulled out of the game. Maybe he's having an interaction with those things, or he's being chased down by the stampede, and all of a sudden someone rolls that and it does it up above. Stampede just suddenly gone,
Like disappears.
Yeah. And then it like every so often, like it just the dice in some weird way could show up to him because at the fourth turn he has to roll 2 to try and get 9 or 8. No, 5 or 8.
Try to get 5 or 8. You got to get a 5 or 8. Man, that original movie. I mean, you had a cast of characters. Hunt was in that.
Yep,
Robin Williams, Christian Diaz.
I think so.
No, that was Dunst.
There you go.
It was
Kristen
Dunst because
yeah.
she was in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Your favorites. The Raimi Spider-Man movies. Your favorites.
Yep, my favorites.
Any final thoughts on a Jumanji prequel?
No, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about the ideas for the prequel.
And
we've given you guys a few. So
perfect segue. Turn it on to you guys. Let us know what you guys think down below. What would you do? Should there be a Jumanji prequel? And if there is, let us know your storyline down below for what you would like to see in the comment section. But Johnny, let's close out the podcast talking about a topic that we haven't talked about in a while.
Not in a while, no.
It has been quite a while since we have talked about Game of Thrones, but here's what we're going to do. It was released...
You rolled the G somehow?
What, in Game of Thrones?
No, you rolled the R on the Thrones. My bad.
Thrones? Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. But
fancy British.
What we're talking about is, so I got this from Emergency Awesome. There's the directors for the episodes for season 8 have been released. So episodes, there's only 6 episodes. So we've got episodes 1, 2, and 4 are going to be David Nutter. Then you've got 2, 3, and 5, 3 and 5, Miguel Sapochnik. And then David and Dan, Benioff and Weiss. David and Dan are going to be 6. So what you have here is, let's just go through the directors really quick. Nutter's more of the director where it's like plot twists, and he's a red wedding guy. Expect a red wedding type of episode. If you're looking at Sapochnik, Battle of the Bastards.
Yes.
So from what we're looking at here, let's just break down the framework. So from what it looks like to me, episodes 1, 2, and 4 are going to be story-driven. Yeah. Plot twists. Give me a twist here or there, something I don't expect.
Yes.
Episode 3, episode 5.
Theatrically awesome.
Big battles. This is where we're going to have our 2 big battles. And then episode 6, if we have a battle at 5, 6 will just be picking up the pieces. Where are we going to leave the series? Because it'll be the last thing that we see.
Yeah.
I am going to totally put you on the spot here, Johnny.
Oh, damn it. Not again.
From where we left episode 7, knowing what we know, 1, 2, and 4 are going to be more plot twisty. 3 and 5 are going to be more battle-y. 6, pick up the pieces. What do you think? What do you think season 8? How do you think it plays out over the 6 episodes?
So episodes 1 and 2 are going to be
plot twisty.
Plot twisty. It's going to be storyline. Obviously, it's going to be them. Yeah, that's
Starks.
specific. No, the White Walkers marching towards Winterfell.
So you're dealing with that threat.
Yes, but on the realization of we need to make plans in Winterfell while they're all there, like the huge group, the group of them.
Yeah.
Wow, give me names. Come on, give me names because I'm forgetting. John.
You're talking about John,
the Starks.
Danny.
No, Danny.
The first thing is Danny and John aren't there yet. Last thing we saw about them is they're on the boat.
Yes.
They're having great boat sex is what they're doing.
Well, they're going to make it there, though.
Yeah. I feel like beginning episode 1, they show up. Hey, I'm here. John walks in. Hey, I'm here, guys.
They've stopped with these slow moving of things.
Yeah. I think they're there episode 1.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The interesting thing that's going to be the plot twisty thing, and I don't know, I feel like this is the cliffhanger into episode 2.
Yeah.
Bran and
well, that's where I was getting to.
Yeah,
when
Bran
with
and basically me, they drop the bomb of like Jon's the rightful heir, Jon's a Targaryen. Boom, da-da-da-da, and then we move that into episode 2.
1 and 2 are going to be basically a lot of that planning of what are we going to do about the White Walker thing going on. It's going to be like Jon, Danny, the Starks, all their right-hand people in the room, all debating what the hell are we going to do.
Bran and Samwell are going to drop the bomb.
Well, that's what that's what I was going to get to is then like Danny's going to say something about her rightful place on the throne because maybe even Jaime's going to possibly be there either episode 1 or episode 2.
True.
And maybe he's the say, hey, she's going to stab you guys in the back.
Because the last thing we saw of Jaime, he was talking to Cersei.
He's leaving.
In the map, but he was talking to her in the map room.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to help them because this is...
That's what we said we would do.
Yeah, that's what we said what we would do. And this is like, if the White Walkers defeat them, there's no hope for us.
Exactly.
Kind of a thing. Let's nip this in the bud right now. So it'll be interesting to see what that kind of plays into it.
Yeah.
How it plays into it. Because one of the most interesting things, and I want to throw this out to you, this is kind of an overarching thing. Cersei, and I didn't realize this until it got brought to my attention, except for the first 2 episodes, has never left has never left King's Landing.
No.
Except for when she was up north in Winterfell. Never have left King's Landing.
No. And that's the thing. I was kind of lumping 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2 together because you're going to get a combination of Jaime's going to show up, whatever interaction you're going to have with him, it's obviously going to be negative at first. And then he's going to like talk to him and say, you know what? I came here. We said we'd help you guys. I'm coming to help because Cersei's going to stab you guys in the back. She's planning on...
So do you really think Jaime would tell them, like, after they deal with the White Walkers, like, hey, she's going to stab you in the back?
I think he's going to tell them before. It's like, just letting you guys know, she's planning on stabbing you guys in the back.
Okay.
I came to help you guys because I said we would, and it's a thing of honor. Plus, if you guys don't make it through this, none of us make it through this.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to give you kind of a storybook outline.
Yes.
And you tell me what you think if you want to fill in the edges.
Okay.
So episode 1, Jon and Danny come back.
Yes.
Most of the episode is going to be, we're going to be other places too. We got to check in on Cersei and stuff. But most of the episode is going to be Jon coming back, meeting with Sansa again, meeting with Arya again, reuniting the Starks.
Yes.
Basically reuniting at Winterfell. Oh, wait, here's Danny. End of the episode, I feel like the big thing they plop at the end is basically the Bran. Just wait for me to go all the way through, and then
I was gonna interrupt you on one when you're done with that because there was one thing I wanted to add in there.
So at the end of episode 1, Bran and Samwell drop the bomb that he's a Targaryen. Then episode 2 is them dealing with most of that. However, getting prepared for the White Walkers. And the end of episode 2 is the twist of they think they have more time. White Walkers are at the door. Something has happened. The White Walkers have advanced further. Or while they're marching, because now they have a dragon, hey, I'm going out to scout first. The dragon comes first. And they have to deal with that. That's right at the end. Like that is coming. Episode 3, White Walker Starks. This is where we get the Winterfell battle, clash with everything. Obviously, they're going to beat the White Walkers because there's more episodes. Maybe people die in there. I don't know who. Maybe we get the twist of, I don't think they would do this, but what if they have the balls to kill Jon or Danny in episode 3?
Maybe.
I don't think they will. Someone's probably going to look at the IMDb page and Ricky say, hey, they have 6 episodes listed for those characters. What if they have the balls to kill one of them in Winterfell? What if they have the balls to kill Bran? What if they have the balls to kill Arya? What if they... I'm talking about a Stark.
Oh, Stark, yeah.
What if they have the balls to kill a Stark? Like, that is going to be an episode, big battle, somebody's dying.
I'm going to add something to your episode 1/2.
Go ahead.
Okay, before we do and here's what I was thinking. Before we do the Targaryen drop with Bran and Samwell, what if we have Jaime show up there? He finds out we have no right to the throne either.
Yeah.
Basically that concept.
That's what I'm saying. The end of the episode, Jaime's already there.
Yeah, okay. You didn't mention that. That's why I wanted to throw that in there.
The end of the episode is, boom, this is where it drops. Because then in episode 2, you've got the Jon Dany kind of, there's going to be some tension between them. Because I don't think it's going to be on the side of Jon. It's all going to be on the side of Daenerys.
Danny's going to be pissed.
This was my throne. I was promised this. And now you're like...
above me.
What? Like, that ain't... The girl with a million fucking titles. That's basically what she is. Egotistical. But like...
Well, I mean, Jon had quite a few ones. Davos actually got into it.
Then you gotta think about the Jaime side. Is Jaime going to be, oh, I'm okay with this? Or is Jaime going to be, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? A Targaryen? He's a Targaryen? Like... We don't know how that is going to... We don't know how Jaime and Dany are going to be if they're together. Then if he learns Jon's a Targaryen too, that could just create something else for this brewing pot. But episode 3, big battle, somebody dies. What if Jaime dies? What if they kill Jaime?
That's what I was thinking.
In episode 3. We almost thought they were going to kill him last season. They didn't. What if they kill him episode 3? Then number 4 is... everything. We start to see more of King's Landing, more of Cersei, more of basically the Starks and King's
planning
Landing.
What to do now, like with the Cersei's backstab.
You know what the end, and this is me. The end of episode 4. You know what my big kind of boom I'm leaving you off with. The Golden Army arrives in King's Landing. They're there. They're ready. They're ready to go down. They're ready to throw down. That's the thing that's going to change everything. The Golden Army. And then episode 5, you get the big battle. Obviously, tons of deaths. And then whichever side wins, let's clean up the aftermath in episode 6.
Okay, here's one wrench I'm going to throw into you. Just with the Golden Army thing. It's not a big wrench, but it's a little one to throw a little plot side story into. Who's not with the rest of them at this point?
You're talking about Tyrion?
No, Tyrion's with them.
Yeah, he's with... No, I'm talking... The Golden Army would be Cersei.
How's the Golden Army getting over there?
Boats.
And who's not there right now?
Theon
Greyjoy.
Yeah, he's going to... like.
He's going to fuck up... Well,
not Theon, his uncle.
Well, him too.
Yeah.
Euron is actually shipping them over. Who's trying to A, save his sister, B, basically kill Euron, and who's gonna fuck up the plan for the it's called the Golden Army?
Yeah. Or the Golden Compass, or
Golden Compass is the company.
Yeah, I think it's the Golden Army.
Anyways, whatever
basically
it's called.
Elephants and all that. What I think is gonna happen there is Theon, like, there's 2 ways they can go with it.
Yeah.
I think in order to make the final battle something epic, well, there's 2 sides of it. To make it epic, have the Golden Army get to King's Landing. Basically, in that kind of situation, Euron kills Theon, and Theon dies. However, there's another part of it of kind of good with bad. Cersei's expecting the Golden Army. What if the plot twist in 4 is Theon has his redemption, kills his uncle, and now Cersei has to come up with a new plan for episode 5 because her trump card is out of the way.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. I would think either Theon... Okay, here's how I'm going to say it. Theon kills Euron, or Euron kills Theon, but his sister gets the final hand of it. So she in killing Theon, she kills Euron.
Here's the only...
It leaves that little time slot open, like a few seconds, for her to get him.
Here's the only reason... I want to throw something in really quick.
Let me finish mine real quick. That ruins the Golden Company thing, which makes it a semi-fair fight.
See, but does it? But does
because King's Landing has a way more amassed army, does it not?
No, but here's the thing, and that's what I was thinking, is you got to understand this, and this is why I think some of the Golden Company have to get over into King's Landing.
Okay.
Because, yes, you have King's Landing's army, but virtually, well, I guess it all depends on what happens with the White Walker fight.
There's going to be mass deaths.
Virtually, you have the Starks, the Wildlings, and the Dothraki plus dragons.
Yes.
2 dragons. Like, I feel like if they lost the Golden Company completely, the scale would be tipped too far into the Winterfell side. Because they have dragons, they have
Except
the Dothrakis.
don't forget, I mean, yes,
we don't even know what if a dragon falls in the White Walker battle, because we're going to get dragon on dragon fight.
Exactly. You're going to have 2 versus 1 ice dragon versus 2 normal dragons. You don't know how many casualties are going to be. Dothraki are going to die. Wildlings are going to die. Northerners are going to die. Maybe even another dragon death. So you don't know how low the army.
What happens in episode 3 will set up what happens to the Golden Compass.
Yeah, basically. So it can either be one way where Theon and his sister will screw it up, and the Golden Compass won't make.
I want Theon to have the kill. I want the redemption arc.
I'm just saying though. One of the 2 will get the kill, and Euron won't. Basically, Euron won't make it.
I want to see Euron die, that fucking bastard.
Anyways, okay.
Oh, I just want to see him die.
I'll word it this way then. Euron, one side of that coin, depending on how episode 3 turns out. Euron won't make it, and neither will the Golden Compass or Company. The second side is Euron does. The Golden Company makes it, but that all depends on episode 3 on how many casualties we have.
Okay.
I think it varies on casualties, because if you have
it's the Golden Company.
Yeah, okay, Golden Company. Well, if you have let's put it this way, you have too many casualties, then all of a sudden the Golden Company turns up. How are you even going to win this? Yeah, you have a dragon, but they also have mounted they're mounting
the bow
stuff,
and arrow.
the giant
arrows
on
the
King's
wall.
Landing. Yeah. So I mean,
but as we've seen before, they're very inaccurate.
Yes, but I mean, if you have multiple of those being shot at a dragon, one of them's going to hit because it injured its wing and at least made it drop.
Yeah.
It couldn't fly anymore. So imagine hitting it where the Ice King, right?
Yeah, basically
the Night King, that's what I'm thinking
where they said there's that one weak spot right by the neck.
Yeah. He hit it right there, right on the money. Fire spewing out right there, and dragon just.
And then eventually they brought it back.
Someone is bound to hit that spot on at least one of the 2 dragons.
How many dragons do you think we get to by the end of the series? Do you think all 3 dragons die?
I think
I think I would like that. I would like all 3 to die. Because you got to think, the one thing, and I know Emergency Awesome brought this up, like, I think he said it was like something like the return of spring, or like new. Basically, the point of like one of the titles was a new life. What if it's one thing where, what if Jon dies, both dragons die, however Dany's left with the throne, and you just see it's like, oh no, one of these dragons laid eggs before the battle.
True,
and she has 2 or 3 more dragon's eggs, and it's like, okay, here it is. That
is something you mentioned before, maybe one in the basement of either King's Landing or Winterfell. There's a dragon egg,
maybe like an egg that's been hasn't hatched for years.
Yeah, who knows, because it has to be put in fire apparently. I mean, who knows how long it would have been. Those other ones have been sitting there before they were hatched.
True. Anything that you're thinking about that we missed with this?
No, like I said, basically I think the Golden Company making it is going to be a matter of,
what if some of them make it? Not all of them, but some.
Maybe even some of it. It all depends on episode 3.
Because I feel like, and this is in my heart of hearts, that some of the Golden Company will get over just to make it a fair fight for episode 5.
Yeah. Well, that, and to see the awesomeness of elephants charging at another army. Because theatrically, you're going to want to see that. Yeah,
because we haven't seen that at all.
No.
The last time we saw elephants was when Danny was still over in not Westeros but Easteros.
Yeah. Whoa, that was clever name right there.
That was the last time we saw like an elephant.
I think it's Essos, actually.
There. Yeah, it's Essos. I know it. I knew what I was saying.
Okay.
I was making the joke, Westeros and Easteros. I knew it was Essos. I knew what I was saying.
Okay.
I knew what I was saying. That's why I had that big smile, that big grin on my face. I knew what I did.
Okay.
But any final thoughts before I turn on to them and wrap this whole shindig up?
Yeah, then I guess I think I'm going to slightly alter my prediction. It's going to either be all or a small chunk of the Golden Company will make it over. Yeah, because...
So you're not saying all of them now. Not all of them are getting demolished.
No, because, some of them might make it back over there because they have their orders from Euron.
Okay.
So maybe some of them will still ship them over and, like, make it, but it won't be a mass amount of them.
Yeah.
And then make it a... you don't want to make it a completely fair fight, even, but you don't want to have, like, overwhelming numbers where, oh, shit, we're never going to get this done.
Mm-hmm. Let's turn on to them. Yes. You guys tell us what you guys think down below in the comment section. Also, thank you guys for checking out the Rick and Johnny podcast this week. Want to thank you for that little housekeeping here at the end. Number one, if you liked what you saw, you liked what you listened to, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Today, we don't have the problem. We're recording during the day.
Yeah.
So if the lights were shut off, we didn't have electricity. Well, if we didn't have electricity, we couldn't record.
No.
Because these mics need electricity.
Yes, they do. Usually.
To help keep the lights on, to help keep all this work, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Number two, you want to get some MVP gear, get this sweet t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. All that is down below in the description. Last but not least, if you're on iTunes or you have an iTunes account, please give us that 5-star rating. Rick and Johnny podcast, the Fast Break, the Primetime Podcast, the Onside Kick. It would mean the world to us. Want to thank you guys for either watching and or listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody. You know what's completely funny? I said watching and or listening. Completely opposite mediums.